Good morning.
Mora,
You were not supposed to be here, but she is.
I'm just here for moral support because he's feeling a little bit doff after his head
I had
bump
a
yesterday.
slight misjudgment. I was busy washing the boat, and then I stood up on the drawbar, and I hit my head on the top against the place where you hook the anchor on the boat, and it caused a nasty cut. And she had to go and drive me very quickly to the hospital. So there's ambulansdrywer gister. Yeah.
So he's not allowed to wash his hair for
So
48 hours. So that's why he's
and
wearing
she
this.
said I should put on my cap, otherwise I'll chase all the people away. We thought we'll just recap 2020 a bit. I know 2020 was a hectic year, a year where a lot of people lost their jobs, a lot of people were split from their families. A lot of people are still actually split from their families, which makes it even worse that it's not yet over. There's still some people out there that haven't found other jobs and are just scraping by. So for a lot of people, 2020 was actually not the best year of their lives, to be quite frank.
I was thinking the other day, I spoke to Jan about it. If you've been away from your wife or from your husband for over a year now, and you still don't know how long it's going to be until you will be able to see each other, how long would we be able to carry on like that? How long before you will just give up and go back home? So for the people that's separated from their families, we really think about you.
Yeah. And then on the other side, I've got stories out of South Africa from people that are stuck there, that have sold everything. And it brings me back to our story. By January, we've sold basically everything. We were out of our house. We moved in with friends for a short period of time, or what we thought would be a short period of time. We ended up staying a bit longer than normal in South Africa because we waited for certain stuff on the heart operation. But these people are also stuck there in limbo. I mean, they all had jobs in New Zealand. That's why they stopped everything, and that's why they decided to come.
And they all resigned.
They all resigned.
With
So
us, I
goodness.
resigned, but in our case, we were in the fortunate position that you worked for yourself. So it wasn't as
that
if
was very,
we
very
both
fortunate.
didn't have a
So,
job. So it's really hard. I can just imagine what they're going through. I spoke to someone the other day that said one of her friends, the whole family was supposed to come, and they were on the airport the day that lockdown started. And on the airport, they separated the people, and they said permanent residents, and work visas, and they sent the residents and the work visas back, and only the permanent resident people could fly. So it must have been very hard. So we're really rooting for you people that's stuck here without your family, especially now that it's Christmas time. It's really hard. I can just imagine.
Yeah, and if you're on the Tauranga region, reach out. I've made contact with a lot of people down here that's been here. I think we were instrumental in helping about in a region of between 8 to 10 people with jobs over that period of time. I just wish we could have done much more. Really, I really, really wish we could have done much more.
And
It
remember,
just feels so hopeless. That's the one thing that I will remember from COVID is feeling hopeless.
there's nothing you could do.
You want to take the people and help them and put them back on their feet. And you can just do this much. You can just do this much. So yeah. Feeling hopeless is not a nice thing. I felt hopeless yesterday when I hit my head and I phoned my wife and she didn't answer her phone. I didn't want to come inside with all the blood running out of my head. So we missed out on our children's visit to New Zealand. They would have arrived about a week, 2 weeks before COVID. Or after
in April.
COVID,
They were supposed to come visit in April.
And until now, immigration has not refunded us the money of the visas. Neither has given us any indication of what they're going to do with the visas or with the money. So
I know there's lots of other people that was also going to visit South Africa or waiting for people to come here.
I think even worse, if you were going to visit South Africa and you were stuck there.
It happened to a lot of people. It happened to a lot of people.
And then the other drawback of lockdown was the weather. Geez, we had beautiful fishing weather. I mean, come on! I was watching. I was watching she's got a
Sorry.
cold. Sorry, she's not always like that. Um, I was watching the weather from where we lived at that stage, and I could see the ocean. I could see the estuaries, and it was beautiful weather out there. We were just not allowed to go out, so that was bad. Um, what else was there? What was negative? I think let's do the negative this morning and get that done off. I'm tired of negativeness. So, what else was there? Other negative things was the Kiwi economy took a bit of a nosedive. People who was, let me say, was in anything tourism related until today is not back on their feet yet. So that was a big hiccup. All right, we're going to step away from that. Talk about positive things.
Yeah, for us, the lockdown wasn't that negative.
That wasn't that negative, except the longing to see my kids, which I haven't seen in 3 years. I really, really look forward to seeing them. I look forward to seeing my grandchildren, the one I haven't even met yet. So that was what was the big negative for me.
Yeah.
So,
And the thing now is, they were hoping to come now. Come 2021 March.
Yep.
That's not going to happen either. So yes, by then she'll be 2.
And the big thing regarding this is I wanted my children to experience New Zealand the way that I experienced New Zealand, and to have them see the good in New Zealand and not the bad. Because it's easy for the father to tell their kids how great New Zealand is, and at the end of the day, they probably get bored with me telling them how great New Zealand is. So I wanted them to experience this for themselves, and then make up their minds if they want to come and visit, come on a permanent basis or not. So
Yeah, we'll hope that this
but
year
let's
coming will be better.
hope for the best. Okay. There is a vaccine. I know a lot of people are saying, take it, don't take it. I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going to get
I'm
into
not
that
going to get
debate.
into that debate.
No.
People each has got their own reason why they will take it, and some people's got the reason why they won't take it. So,
Yeah.
2020 took us out of our rental and into a house, which was a good thing. We were very lucky to. I actually regard it, if I look at the house situation now, I actually regard us as very, very lucky. We applied straight to the bank with a new business. Every mortgage broker just said no. Then we went straight to the bank. The bank said yes, we could. And then we started looking around, looking at new builds, because we thought we were going to buy a new build, and then the price just escalated because I need a place to work from home. So, and for me to go and rent an office somewhere, that will just increase my cost tremendously. So, I needed a space to work from home, and no new build has got that space. So we had to add some rooms to a new build, but then those costs just went through the roof. And eventually we had to put a halt to that and said, there's just no way we could do that. Plus with new builds, they come with a lot of rules and regulations on what to do in the surrounds and where you got to park the boat and the caravan and everything else, which actually just pushes up the price at the end of the day. And then we were quite fortunate to see this place that we are currently in on the internet, and even with the long twist that we were allowed to see the place. And this was just after lockdown, and then we had to double our deposit, which was quite hectic, which left us in a tiny bit of financial strain. This money that was actually meant to go to somewhere else. So, but we were very lucky. We got into the house, and that's where we are today. So,
Yeah,
and it's my wish for every South African at the end of the day to get their own house. This anchors you down. Yeah, you got to do the grass. You got to do. You are the garden services down here. You can get garden services, but it's quite expensive. You are the garden service down here, so
But you get used to it. So
get used to it, and it's quite nice actually. Sometimes just to get out there and just to work in the garden a bit.
Yeah.
I mean, even you do this from time to time. I'm quite chuffed with you. I just need to get her to mow the lawns.
Remember your head. Remember.
Yeah, lockdown gave us the time to spend time with our kids that we have here. really gave us a lot of time because they weren't allowed to go anywhere. They couldn't flee from us, and we couldn't flee from them. So,
Yes, it was very good. It was actually very good. We enjoyed
yeah.
lockdown a lot.
But it postponed a lot of our travel plans. We had some plans to go to Napier and these places that we had to postpone.
It's okay. We'll make up for that.
I will
next
make
year.
up for that next year. We are coming
Yeah.
to Napier very early in Jan. So
But we got to do a lot of stuff that we wouldn't have even thought of doing
Yeah.
otherwise. You remember all those
we did all that crazy
Saturday night
theme.
dinners we
Oh
had?
yeah. That was fun.
really fun.
That was fun. We tried to make a lot of fun about lockdown. Otherwise, it would have gotten morbid. It was not the best time for a lot of people. We tried to put a bit of a positive spin on that. Yeah, and then lockdown taught us a few tricks. Taught us a few tricks of how can I say, talking to people on video, because that's what we did a lot of time. Speaking to the kids on video, speaking to our friends on video, and then taught us a lot of new business tricks. We can now do business over the phone, over video. I learned a lot of new programs to work on with video as well.
And I think it's things that will stick now.
Things that will stick, and we keep on doing that, and it just ties us closer to our clients out there. It makes the world from being big to small. So if you are down in Invercargill and want to speak to me, get on video. We can sit and talk. Just can't shake hands. So the nice thing is we can't give each other germs as well. Although they've declared New Zealand COVID free now, so that's a good thing as well. We'll just keep quarantine closed, and we would be fine with that. Yeah, at the end of the day. So the other problem is we also miss our family. We've got family abroad, family in England, family there that's got babies and stuff that we haven't seen. So they couldn't visit us, we couldn't visit them. And then you will always worry about your family and friends that's not in the same country as you, because you keep on thinking about them. It's just one of those things. That's the way that we are as human beings are.
Yeah, and because we're in New Zealand, we kind of sometimes I forget that COVID actually exists. So when you see how they are coping in the UK, it's quite different from how it is in New Zealand. It's actually very in your face there at the moment. Same with South Africa; they're not even allowed to go to the beaches and stuff.
Yeah, the South Africans will do a live. We'll do a live from a beach somewhere in New Zealand.
That's actually bad. Can you just imagine how many people
booked
holidays and stuff, and now they can't go?
And on the other hand, is if those holiday places give back that money, that will put them in a negative or in a bad spot, because now suddenly they haven't got an income as well.
Yeah,
it's a two-way street. It's a bad two-way street. There's one comment. I need to see what that is. Love mowing the lawns and the gardening. Oh, that's good. I'll give you my address as well. So
it is nice to work in the garden sometimes. If you can just get to it. I was gardening, when was it? Sunday.
Yeah.
And when I looked out the window this morning, I said, oh my word, I'll have to get in there again.
Well, we did some repairs to the house. And there were some of these old, I can say, they built planters where they had a tree in and so on. So I removed this planter because that's where I want to park my caravan. And there's a heap of dirt that was left over and a lot of rubbish down there. So this kept on piling up at a certain area of the house. And I rented one of these little skips, and I parked the skip next to that. And then I went and I rented one of these little dingoes. They call it a dingo, that thing. It's like a very compact earth-moving machine. You stand on the back. There's no seat on that. And that thing shakes like those old shakers. What was that? What did the bunnies put on? So that was quite fun.
You learned quite a few new skills
this year. So if anybody over Christmas season is looking for a dingo operator, blah blah.
A digger, didn't you?
A digger did a digger thing.
Yeah, you did a lot of stuff this year.
So the wife's got a multi-talented husband.
We'll have to put those talents to use now.
We cleaned that portion up now, and it was quite interesting about how much rubbish you actually accumulate just during the small build that we had. And when we bought the house, the water pressure down here is very, very low, so we had to put into tanks. and high pressure pump on that. That was quite interesting. But now we've got pressure for all the bathrooms.
Mm.
Um, our house is quite interesting house. We actually got three bathrooms. So if somebody's in the toilet on the one and pulls the toilet and somebody showers, normally the guy in the shower was left dry. It was not a good thing. So the high pressure pump makes up for that. That just helps a lot. So and then rain. We didn't have a lot of rain.
No, but we had
No,
scattered rain.
we had scattered rain, but
Mm.
I see there's
But
a
we didn't.
cyclone coming, a
Really.
massive cyclone.
Over Christmas,
Over
probably.
Christmas time, and they reckon Northland will have
Mm.
up to 180 millimeters of
Oh,
rain per day.
wow.
So, and Northland's not very far from us, so we'll see what will happen down this side. Remember our Christmas Day picnic once again.
If the cyclone doesn't hit.
If the cyclone doesn't hit us, we'll sort that out.
Mm.
But also South Africans, man, be tough,
No,
man.
I don't do anything in the
Let's bring an
cyclone.
umbrella.
Mm-mm.
Now the cyclone is going to be something like 2,000 kilometers from us,
Oh.
but the prevailing winds and the waves and stuff that comes along, that impacts actually a massive area. But it looks like Fiji will be straight in the road of, or in the way that
Oh, really?
Fiji's not really used to these type of things. They reckon
Mm.
winds up to 220 kilometers an hour as normal, with up to 260 kilometers per hour as when we're gusting. So that's a bit of hectic. So those of you guys that wanted to go to Fiji over, except lockdown, you can't fly. So probably a good thing as well.
Do you remember when we just got to New Zealand in our first rental?
Oh yeah.
And they had this warning out,
And a cyclone warning that evening.
cyclone.
Yeah.
We closed all the windows. We were quite scared
Mm.
because we live in wooden houses, so we thought it was just going to blow over.
And that cyclone would have hit us something like 3 o'clock in the morning or something like that.
Mm. And
I went out at 3 o'clock in the morning because I wanted to see what,
the wind was blowing.
but not hectic. It was actually quite not too
We were
bad.
thinking, okay, this is just like
Mm.
we used to
Yeah.
Cape Town stormy winds and weathers with your
But pres-
garden furniture
Yeah.
gets blown into the swimming pool.
But presumably the cyclone is quite a big one. Only one that was bigger than it was the one in 2016. So
Okay.
got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
But if it doesn't rain that morning of Christmas morning, we'll still have our Christmas picnic in the park as we did last year. Love the people that was there. It was absolutely a wonderful day. So thank you to everybody that made it worth our while last year. And this year we hope to do the same again. So how was your 2020? I know a lot of people had also good experiences. I want to actually keep the good experiences in my head and drop the negative ones out.
I have to say, what I realized and what I've seen from people is COVID kind of got some people out of the comfort zone because you're so used to, okay, this is my job, this is what I'm doing.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden, you
You're taken
lose your
away.
job and there's nothing else that you can do. So people started to think of alternative ways to get an income, and they actually that is now what they enjoy
Yeah.
and what they'll keep on doing. So I think it
And
was a
South
good,
Africans have got a lot of how can I say? It's got a lot of fire under their
oh
arses.
yes.
If
Mm.
I've seen quite a few new things that started up from COVID,
Yeah.
and these people are actually doing well.
New business
New
ventures.
business ventures, yeah, and these people are actually really doing well. And if you've got a new business venture out there that I didn't know about, let me know. We'll put it on Facebook and advertise it a bit for you. Why not?
Yeah, I
So-
saw this morning someone invited me on a page again, also a new business to ladies that you actually know. And I just thought, wow, this is so wonderful.
Yeah. Somebody called me yesterday with a new idea that they're going to do in South Africa, and I'm not going to call his name this morning, but he was so positive. That this was. I wasn't negative about the business because I don't know exactly what he's going to do yet, but there was a few.
In South Africa.
No, from South Africa, business
Oh.
that they have there that they're going to implement this side.
Okay.
And one thing that just triggered me was how positive this guy was. And it was absolutely wonderful to speak to him. It was,
It's contagious.
yeah, it was so good that. And then a client of mine phoned me. Her husband has lost his job in Auckland, and I know they've been floundering around a bit. She had her position. They've moved now. They've actually moved now out of Auckland to a smaller place, smaller little town, And the first thing she said to me, she said, "We're better off financially."
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, come on. She's allowed to work
Mm.
at the same job she did at Auckland remotely, which
Mm.
is great, great, great. I mean, these wonderful people.
Mm.
He's got basically the same type of job that he did in Auckland, and it looks like they're paying him better. And as you said, the rental is way cheaper.
Yeah.
So
Living costs
it's
are
living cost. Yeah, there was
much
a
less.
few months of Marco break and worries. I do agree that's not a good area, but thereafter the positiveness that came out of stuff like this, it's just absolutely wonderful. So
And it just shows you how
oh,
strong you actually
oh, it
are, right?
is, it
It's
is.
such a good feeling when you get
Mm,
through it and you think, oh my word, I did it.
yeah.
Yeah. Good. Good on them.
So and remember, if you came through something like this, I mean, share your positive stories. There's people that
It's
need to
nice to
know
hear.
about
It's
this.
nice to hear.
We love to hear the good stories. Yeah, it's bad to hear about the bad stories as well. And I'm not saying don't tell us about the bad stories as well. And if we can help on a bad story, we're really willing to help. I mean, I think we've gone above and beyond on helping people this year. But share the good stories with us as well. It's so good to have a good positive story out there.
It
So
is.
well, you got another 9 minutes to speak to the people. What do you want to tell them?
I'm just here for moral support.
It's moral support. He's probably afraid I'll start rambling and go off the tracks again. So yeah, a few things that I've noticed after lockdown. The economy of New Zealand, can't say 100% is back on track, but it's not doing badly. We've lost the tourism sector. We've lost about 10% of our GDP down there. But there's a few other sectors that have remarkably picked up speed like crazy. The houses have gone crazy. I
Mm.
mean, prices of houses has gone absolutely crazy. I had a meeting about 2 weeks ago where we were addressed by an estate agent and he gave us this one house that he sold. And when they asked the public what the price would be on the house, the public said between 600 and 700,000. So when they asked their agents came up to the point where they said probably 850 because the agents know the market a bit better. The house went on auction and sold with only 5 people bidding there. That house sold for nearly $920,000.
Sure.
And that's a house with a heck of a lot of work that needs. I wouldn't have bought that house, to be quite frank. It's just too much work on that house. And that's what a house in Tauranga went for. It's not, well, a bit of an eye
Yeah, and
opener.
what I've noticed now is that most cities, the house prices are kind of the same. It's
Mm.
not like it's much cheaper
Yeah.
in some areas than in others.
Auckland is
It's
still
all
taking the
yeah.
cake as being the
Auckland
most
and Wellington
expensive.
is
Wellington is very
expensive.
expensive. But Hamilton,
Yeah,
Tauranga,
it's like kind of
kind of very much the
everyone's
same.
in the
Yeah.
same situation at the
Same.
moment. Yeah.
Even if you're thinking of buying a second house and you normally will buy a second house that's an investment property, you buy something smaller that you easily flip again. Even
Mm.
those stuff is going hectic. Spoke to somebody that's in that market the other day, and they've got no houses to sell. If you don't have land, if you don't have your own land,
Mm.
and they can build for you, then they don't have anything to sell.
Mm.
So that's another big problem that has surfaced, especially in our area, is the availability of new areas to build on.
Yeah.
I know if you go down to the Mount and those type of places, they take the existing house, move that to the back of the property, and then build another property on the front.
Yeah.
But they're even running out of spaces like this. So they sometimes even place three properties in one older property's place. So
I think this is just an idea, and maybe I shouldn't say it now. Maybe I should speak to it afterwards, but I'm going to say it anyway.
yeah.
We're going to have Karen here next week.
Yep.
So maybe if people are interested in just finding out what
Mm.
the house market is like and stuff, maybe Karen can come on the show. If
I'll bully Karen and until she says yes to 30
Mm.
minutes directly live with me. She was live with me in the past, but all
Yes,
the way
she
from
was.
Auckland.
Mm.
So she's quite willing to do stuff like this. So
Maybe
I think
just
next
give
week
people an
we'll
idea. It
get
would be a
Karen
good
on
thing.
on
Mm.
and I'm going to say this now, and I know people are going to hate me for this. The house price in New Zealand ain't going to fall. I've got a $50 bet with somebody on this, and I want my $50.
So are you going to make sure that the house prices don't
No,
fall?
no, no. The house prices are going to make sure on their own. The sad thing is there's I think it's 84,000 houses too little in the country, so it's not artificial. It's not like there's tons of people now suddenly buying second houses. There's a real shortage of houses here.
Okay.
So even if let's say 10% of the country go into bankruptcy and have to sell their houses, that houses will still be gone within the blink of an eye. There will never be too many houses in New Zealand, except if something massive happens and they can build about 100,000 houses, because we've got 84,000. I think it's 84,000 houses too little in the country currently.
And I mean, immigrants are still coming in.
Immigrants are
And a
still
lot
coming
of
in slowly,
Kiwis
yes.
that left the country is also coming back now. So.
And there's a lot of South Africans that have now got their residency and they're ready to buy. These guys are ready to buy. They've got the deposit and everything else. And I wish them well. I really wish we could all get houses a bit cheaper now, but it's not going to happen. So that is something. If you are planning to buy a house, you've got to keep that in mind. The house prices ain't going to fall overnight. No, not really. Not. I know in the beginning they said 15%, 20%. We've seen rises of about 20% at least going forward. So it's a good thing if you've got a house. It's a bad thing if you haven't got a house. So it's a catch-22 situation. So if you're planning to buy a second or third or fourth house, that's actually negative. You'll have to go and look somewhere else. And the problem if you buy in the little small towns and villages, you will have a problem with getting the price for rentals, because rentals aren't expensive down there. So that's what's weird. But that's just kind of economics. So what's happening next year? Let's quickly recap. We've got 4 minutes left. Next year we're going to Napier very early in the year. I will come to Auckland as well. I'm going to have a breakfast with a few of my clients down there. I owe them this. So keep your eyes on your email. We are going to invite you for breakfast or two down in Auckland side. We are going to have to go down to the South Island. That will be during
end of March.
And then
You still have to do some planning.
Start to do some planning down there, but that is going to happen. That I promise that is going to happen. We actually planned it for this year, and then we bought the house. Things got a bit haywire. Yeah, we had to do a lot of work on the house just to get it livable for us. It was livable, but we didn't like the tiles and stuff like that. So yeah. What else is happening next year? I want to catch more fish next year. And not hit myself against the boat again. So
yeah, we said next year or next time you clean the boat, you must wear a helmet.
Or I'll just ask my wife to do that.
It's not gonna happen.
Come on. Yeah, guys, it was a good year for us. Let's be quite frank on that. We loved lockdown because it gave us time with each other.
In spite
of everything that's bad, we loved lockdown. It was a good time for us. It gave us
and it
time
was a good year. We had
a good year. We brought a lot of new clients on board. Thanks to them, without you guys, we would have been able to be the people that we are today. So it was deep humbleness that we say thank you. Next, we'll have another 2 sessions of 30 minutes with Jan, and then it's a new year. And I believe this year will be positive. And I'm going to say this year will be positive for everybody. I want everybody to have a massive 2021. So we're going to focus on the positive side of stuff and get it done. Remember, for Christmas and New Year, everywhere in New Zealand, they will have fireworks. Fireworks are a good thing and a bad thing. I love fireworks. I don't put them off myself, but I love taking photos of them, love watching them. But we've got 2 little cats now.
Yes, that was the best thing that happened to us.
There she goes. We've got 2 baby cats. They're just this size. So I don't know how fireworks will. But luckily, where we stay, we're quite far from. You can hear them, but it's not that massive, loud bangs around. It's a bit of an old age home where we are living. So
a lot of old people around us.
At 6 o'clock, they'll go to bed, so nobody makes a lot of noise.
It's
good. That was us.
Yeah.
That's another one. Another 30 minutes we've done. So the year is running out. 2020. Afrikaans word, but I won't say that. busy seeing his ass. Yeah, and we will soon welcome 2021, and I think it's going to be a very, very good 2021. And if you are like me and you haven't got your bikini body ready yet, blame lockdown.
Yeah.
Blame
I don't know.
lockdown.
Yeah, we all blame lockdown, but it's been how many months since lockdown's over?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll have to
I
do
also put
something
this on
about
here.
it next
Thank
year.
you to the two of you for keeping us up to date on what is happening in New Zealand on an ongoing basis. You see, people like you actually. They want to see you more here. So you are allowed to have your say a bit more. So, all right, guys and girls, that's me, Jan, all the way from Welcome Bay. I'm a financial advisor, so don't ask me any immigration questions. I'm not allowed to do that. And my lovely wife, Mariska, thanks for being here this morning.
Pleasure.
Okay.
Have a good day and have a good weekend.
And see you all same place, same time next week. Bye-bye.